So let's go to Adam, who's on the line in Alberta, Canada. Adam, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Just listening online and just so excited and amazing to hear your story.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Well, it's for you. It's for the listeners because I want people to understand how effective this little simple principle is. And you heard the story just now, honestly, before I even knew what I was doing. So how can I help?
Okay, so I have a really quick, a two-part question. One is, what would you say to somebody who knows their sweet spot, trying to get there, is having a hard time maybe finding people that do that and getting around them if they're not in close, proximity to them, and then also scared to maybe a little bit to lose what they already have to actually go where God's calling them?
Okay, well, we have two distinct things there. So let's go with the first one quickly. What is the sweet spot, and why are you not able to get in proximity to people that are doing that? So give me the first part of that question. What is it?
So my sweet spot, my journey has been that I guess as part of, by calling you, I'm trying to get into proximity with somebody who's doing something that I want to do. And then I just feel like there's such a problem. Why there's so many people wandering around not knowing maybe where they should be or where they want to go. And I've kind of struggled that with myself. And so that's what I actually want to do. I really want to, I have a heart to just help people get to where God's trying to get them to go. And I guess immediately, like on the radio and out in media, like there's people like you that obviously I'm trying to get into proximity with, but just, I guess my immediate surroundings, there's nobody really around me that's actually doing that, I guess.
Well, you don't know that because you still don't know how you're going to do that. So I know you want to help people who don't know what their calling is, and you want to help them get there. Is that fair? Did I hear that correctly?
That's true, yeah.
All right, so welcome aboard to my mission, and excited to have you aboard. But the question is, how do you want to help them? So I had decided fairly early on that I wanted to do it in media, specifically radio. I wanted to bring some real heart and soul and practical knowledge and wisdom to talk radio. So I wanted to do it like this, like we're doing it today, where I'm talking with callers. I want to do it at live events. I want to do it through books, which the proximity principle that we're coming out with May 13th, that's how we're doing it. So how do you want to help these people? Have you identified that?
I think I have. I think where I've journeyed, I've realized that it hasn't come quick, but I realize I actually am. I really love to teach, and I love to see the lights come on with people, and I like to communicate, and so I guess what I would be teaching people about the subject, whether it be through through material or even like one-on-one type situations.
Okay, great. So now you have identified somewhat of a public and private communication one-on-one. So it could be counseling, life coaching, that type of thing, career coaching, and then maybe that develops into, something else a little bit bigger, a bigger platform, or when you say speaking, publicly, that could be maybe as a college professor, maybe it's in ministry. So you've identified at least a couple of ways. So the one-to-one versus the one-to-many, those are the two ways, and it would be you communicating content that would help these people. So you've got that. There's your clarity. So now you say, well, who's doing that? So now you are in proximity to me because you're listening to my show. And one of the things that I want other people to listen to this, not just you, Adam. One of the things that was huge for me in my early development is that I would watch some of the best radio and television guys. I'd listen to them and watch them, and I picked up so much from them. So, for instance, when I learned how to do interviews, I was watching everything Larry King did. I'd watch everything that Charlie Rose did. I'd watch everything that Bob Costas did. So online, I was able to get in proximity to people. So you don't have to just be in proximity to somebody in your zip code. Okay?
Right.
Now, I find it hard to believe that there's not some type of career or life coach in Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah, absolutely.
So why don't you go sit down with one of them? Say, hey, here's the deal. I'm going to sign up for one session and pay them, and then say, can we just go to lunch because you got to eat lunch, and I want you to basically allow me to interview you and get a brain dump. People love that stuff. So even if you don't want to do a session with them, just call them up and say, hey, here's the deal. I listen to this guy, Ken Coleman. He helps in this area. You guys probably have a lot in common, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. But that's another person you need to put yourself in proximity to. In fact, a little bit later in the show, I'm going to unveil all 5, but I'll tell you who that is. That's the producer. That's somebody who's winning in their industry. They're actually producing results. Do you understand? So he or she are in the field you want to be in. Okay. Now the professional person is more me. That's the person that is higher up the ladder, if you will, at a little bit bigger platform. They're not local to you. But again, you have proximity to me. You can watch YouTube videos. You can go look at a lot of things out there. You can read books. You can go do research. Watch the YouTube TED Talk by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, the Hungarian, psychologist who studied flow for 30 years. This stuff is everywhere. But there are people who are professionals and in your field who are doing this for a living, rather. They're not the professionals that I refer to in my book, but the point is they're doing it for a living. That I would call them the producer, and you need to go get with them and learn their journey. Now, the second part of your question is this. You basically said, I'm afraid to let go of what I've got now, and that's just good old-fashioned fear, and we all face it. And what you have to do to combat fear is identify, well, what am I really afraid of? So there's something that creates the fear. So is it failing financially? Is that the source of the fear? Then you address that. Well, how would I not fail financially? What would be the plan? How do I put myself in a position where as I pursue this part-time, which I did, I pursued radio part-time. I didn't give up my day job and just go, whee! And say, I hope I make it. No, that's insanity. You step into it over time. You build a bridge from where you are to where you want to be. And so your homework assignment is to truly practice the proximity principle. In order to do what you want to do, Adam, which is help other people discover what they were born to do, you have got to take the steps to get in proximity to others that are doing it. Go to some events, get to, some webinars, things of that nature, people that are out there doing content and coaching people in their career. There's a ton of people doing it. Okay. Keep listening to my show. Listen to me as I coach others. Go to school on me. How would you do it? How would you do it differently? Get in proximity to people that are doing what you want to do. Get in places where what you want to do is happening, and then you're going to find opportunity and come up with a plan. In order for me to do that, what are my qualifications? What do they need to be? How long is that going to take me? What's it going to cost?